Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into something pretty cool, a super smart, modern way to invest in one of the world's oldest assets, silver. Yup, we're talking all about silver ETFs.
Have you ever thought about getting into silver? I mean, it's got this timeless appeal, right? A solid, safe haven asset. But then, reality hits. Where on earth do you keep it? How can you be sure it's the real deal, super pure? And what about when you want to sell? It's not exactly a walk in the park. Honestly, it can be a massive headache.
And that right there, that's the heart of what we're digging into today. You've got two main paths. On one hand, there's the old school way. Physical bars, coins, maybe some jewelry. And on the other hand, you have silver ETFs, trading super easily on the stock market. Let's really get into why this difference is a total game changer for investors.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the physical silver problem. Because look, to really get why something new like an ETF was even necessary, we've got to understand the headaches, the real-world challenges of owning actual physical silver.
Okay, so when you actually own physical silver, you're hit with some serious issues. Number one, storage and security. I mean, are you going to hide it under your mattress or pay for a secure locker? Both have their own risks, right? Then there's the whole purity thing. You just have to trust that the silver you bought is actually 99.9% pure. Plus, you get hit with making charges. Those extra fees for turning it into a coin or a piece of jewelry, and those just chip away at your profit. And maybe the biggest one, liquidity. Selling a bar of silver isn't like clicking sell on an app. You've got to find a willing buyer, haggle over the price. It's a whole process. So yeah, physical silver definitely comes with some baggage. But what's the alternative, right? Well, that's where things get interesting. Let's talk about a much smarter, way more streamlined solution for today's investor. The Silver Exchange Traded Fund, or ETF for short. Okay, let's make sure we're all on the same page here. What exactly is an ETF? Think of it like this. It's a big fund that collects money from tons of investors, like you and me. It then uses all that pooled cash to buy a bunch of assets, in our case, real, physical silver. The fund then creates little shares or units that represent that silver, and you can buy and sell those units on the stock exchange, just as easily as you trade a share of a company.
All right, so how does this whole thing actually work? It kind of sounds like magic, doesn't it? Turning a massive bar of solid silver into something you can trade with a few taps on your phone. Let's pull back the curtain and see what's going on behind the scenes.
Believe it or not, it's a surprisingly simple process. Step 1. You just buy units of a silver ETF on the stock market. Super easy. Step 2. Your money gets pooled together with everyone else's. Step 3. The fund manager takes all that cash and goes out and buys huge physical bars of silver. And Step 4. Those bars are tucked away safely in super secure insured vaults. So every unit you own is your little slice of all that physical silver. Now, this is absolutely crucial. This whole system is built on a foundation of trust and security. In India, for example, these funds are regulated by SEBI, and they have some really strict rules in place to protect you, the investor. One of the biggest rules, they require regular physical audits of the vaults to make sure every single ounce of silver is exactly where it's supposed to be. And check this out. This really shows you the kind of quality we're talking about. These funds can't just buy any old silver. They have to buy physical silver that meets the super strict standards of the London Bullion Market Association, the LBMA. What does that mean for you? It means the silver has to be at least 99.99% pure. No guesswork. You're getting a standardized, high-quality asset every single time. Okay, so we've got the how it works part down. Now let's get practical. Let's build your investor checklist. What are the pros, what are the cons, and what are the absolute need-to-know details before you jump in? The upsides here are pretty compelling. First off, it's a fantastic way to diversify your portfolio with a real, tangible asset. It can be a great shield against inflation. The liquidity is a massive, massive win. You can buy or sell your units in an instant during market hours. And the best part? Absolutely zero storage costs or security nightmares for you to deal with. But let's be real, no investment is a sure thing. We have to look at the other side of the coin. The main thing you need to know about silver is that its price can be a bit of a roller coaster, definitely more volatile than gold. Why? Well, a big part of it is that its value isn't just about what investors think, it's also heavily tied to industrial demand, and that can swing up and down with the economy. Okay, let's talk taxes, because this is super important for any investor. With silver ETFs, how long you hold your investment completely changes the game. If you sell in under 3 years, your profit just gets added to your income and taxed like normal. But
If you hold on for more than 3 years, it's treated as a long-term capital gain. That means it's taxed at a flat 20%, and you get something called the benefit of indexation, which is just a fancy way of saying it helps you account for inflation. Big difference.
So, if you're out there shopping for a silver ETF, here's what you need to look for. First, the expense ratio. That's just the annual fee you pay. Good news is, SEBI has capped it at 1%. Second, look at the tracking error. This just tells you how closely the fund is actually following the price of silver. You want this to be tight, within 2%. And last but not least, do a gut check. Be really honest with yourself about your own personal risk appetite.
All right, we've nailed the mechanics, but let's zoom out. What's the bigger story for silver? This is where things get really exciting, because we have to talk about its role in our high-tech future.
This right here, this shows you silver's secret identity. See, unlike gold, which is mostly for jewelry and investment, about half of all the silver used in the world goes into industry. That is a huge, huge driver of demand that has nothing to do with whether people are buying necklaces or coins.
And that leads us to a really powerful point. Look at this data. Since 2021, the world has consistently demanded more silver than it's been able to supply. This has created what's called a structural deficit. Plain and simple, we're using more silver than we're digging out of the ground. And over the long run, that kind of imbalance can be a very strong reason for prices to go up.
So where is all this demand coming from? Well, it's coming from the very technologies that are defining our future. We're talking solar panels, electric vehicles, the hardware that makes 5G networks possible, and even the tiny electronics that power AI. Silver is, quite literally, the metal of electrification and connectivity. Okay, let's wrap this all up. We've talked about the problems with physical silver, we've seen how ETFs are a brilliant solution, and we've looked at the incredible demand story. So what's the bottom line here?
A silver ETF is just about perfect for an investor who wants to add a real, tangible commodity to their portfolio for diversification, but they want to do it the easy way. Simple, liquid, cost-effective, and with none of the headaches that come with owning the physical stuff.
So if you want a simple way to think about it, it's this. Silver ETFs take the ancient, timeless value of a precious metal and give it a modern upgrade. It's designed for the speed and efficiency that today's investors expect.
And I want to leave you with one final thought. As our world races towards a more electric and connected future, and as all these new technologies consume more and more silver, maybe it's time we stop thinking of silver as just a precious metal and start seeing it for what it's becoming, a truly strategic one.